Good. Then a bit of a breezy day today, start of a brand new weekly journey. This week, because we're still on hold with the permit, we've got some grinding and welding to do in the assembly of the rudders, but we can't do them here for obvious reasons. We are progressing, so they're a little bit slow. We just got to wait for the right department to tick the right boxes. In the meanwhile, I need to do some work at home, so I've got to go and fetch some equipment. So we're going to fetch the welding equipment and the grinders, get them back home. Right, so this week, I still haven't got my permit. It's a bit slow, and it's holding the job up a bit, and I've got to kind of crack on. What I've decided to do is continue with the rudders. Now, they're going to need grinding and welding. So what I've done is I've brought all the bits here, home. This is home. Not ideal, but at least I can grind and weld here without any problems. So I'm going to complete the rudder assembly. That's the task. So I've got quite a bit to do. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more pairs of ribs to do to get this assembly built up. Right, so what I'm doing here is each of these ribs is a pair of 2. So I basically rough out one. There's the template. And it's not quite to size, a little bit larger. But then I use this larger section to draw the template for the second. I'll put them together and then we'll shape them together as one. That way we get a nice, even, equal pair.
So I like that plan initially, where I clamped also the template to the steel, and that way I was able to file out or to grind out a nice profile. I put some white chalk on the edge so I could see if I was actually starting to cut into the template itself and make sure we didn't eat the template away at the same time. It worked really well, apart from the tip where it dissipates less heat, and it tended to warp and distort the end. So to get a little bit more accurate, so I'm just going to do that by eye, but I've probably ruined my template and it's stuck to the steel. There we go, it's coming off. you can see now the template's probably not so accurate, but anyway, well, it worked quite well, but I'll see if I can do better on the next one.
All done. That one goes on the top, caps over the top. That one goes on the bottom, that caps on the bottom. And these are the 4 intermediate ribs that go in the middle of that rudder. All cut down to size. What we need now is we need a hole in there and a little hole here, as per our diagram. And in order to do those holes properly, I had to think about using my pillar drill, but it's not that accurate. So I've recruited the help of an expert. In the meanwhile, I wanted to find a way of thanking all those who have become patrons and members and bought us stuff off our Amazon wish list and things like that. I really don't feel as though I do enough. I'm not that active on Patreon, and I should be. I keep getting told off by Gemma from Ship Happens. I do try and post some bits and pieces, but as a special thank you, I wanted to kind of include your name a little bit, and I've had an idea. Maybe I can leave a few cookies in the boat with your names on it. So all those that have supported us will find a way of engraving your name on there. But how do I engrave on a large boat like that with a little portable laser engraver like this? Problem is though, I don't think it fits inside. It keeps getting jammed. The door won't go down because the boat's too wide. It's a good job I've got a plan.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
And before you think that you've been forgotten, Randy B, let me show you this. I can actually add to this later on, so as people continue to contribute, we can continue to add their name. It's quite clever because it has a camera, so I can line everything up with the camera that's inside the laser etcher.
I was hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, to feel the wind.
There you go, Randy B, that's you added. And if I've forgotten anybody else, because I've got a memory like a sieve, please reach out, let me know, and I'll get your name stuck on there.
The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. The river's gonna cry when you're, the river's gonna cry when you're.
Look at that for a beast of a machine. That's one of those laser engravers. That's the xTool F2. And I bought one of those, and I've bought this as well, which is the air filtration unit, because it draws the smoke and the bits and pieces from the etching, and that filters it. So I've been having to play with this. Now the reason I got this one is because not only do you put things kind of on the bed here to sort of laser engrave and things, it'll do steel, wood, leather, all sorts of things, but that whole bed comes out, and this is portable. So that means I can put this in various places on the boat, and we can leave some cookies. And the idea is when we start doing the woodwork, we'll do some engravings there to leave a little bit of a brand behind. But I also want to be able to put little cookies of people's names around the boat, etc. But it's fantastic. It's a portable machine, look. We can laser etch all sorts. We could laser etch the dog. Now let me just show you this. I'm really excited. I've been playing around with this, and it does things I didn't realise it did. This is quite good. So watch this. I was thinking about making myself some little labels. This is steel. These are made out of steel. And what I didn't realise you could do is you can set the text to be engraved and the holes and the outline to cut. So if you look, it uses a different laser. It's got two lasers. So I'm just going to give that a go. Fingers crossed it cuts. It's pretty exciting if it does. Let's give it a try.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just leave it all behind. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
That's amazing. Look at that. Fantastic. Right, that's absolutely brilliant. That's unbelievable. I can't believe that actually cuts metal. That's pretty good. So, what I want you lot to do now is come up with some good ideas. What can I do? I've got some metal and all sorts of bits and pieces of wood for the boat. You know, we could design sort of the switch panel and things like that, couldn't we? Pretty exciting, right? Right, that was fun. It even engraved your names on the rudder rib. Check it out. Make sure your name's on there if you've ever contributed. If it's not, let me know and I'll get you added. So that actually is a fantastic product. I really do like that machine. That's the xTool F2 laser engraver. It's got two lasers, infrared laser and a blue laser, and it does all sorts of stuff. Leather, steel, cuts things out as you've seen. Even makes watch dials for my wife's expensive pocket watch hobby. It's blooming good. check out this affiliate link down below. Give that a click and stuff, and I get a bit of a kickback. I think you've got to buy one, and I do, but give it a click anyway. Check it out. Right, fishing trip coming up. Next job. Right, so for the next part of the job, I've had to come down to Aid's workshop. You've got Aid in the background. This is his man shed. It's a little bit short. Aid's had to take a couple of inches off the bottom of his leg so he can fit in here. Anyway, we've got all the bits and pieces on lathed flash machine, and we're going to see if we can't bore all these at the same time. The first job we were just about to do was measure my shaft. You want to... So boys are in there,
just know.
in the man shed. The first job they like to do is measure the shaft. Should be, we think, 50 mil.
Yeah, it's got a bit of your Jotun on it. It's measuring up 50.04, but that'll be the paint. So yeah, it's nominal 50 mil.
50 mil. I've got a 50 mil shaft. That weighs a ton. We've got some steel to go
For the small end. And that's measuring up 7.82. It's black bar, so it's going to vary a bit. 7.9, I think.
been scammed. I bought 8 mil.
We'll put an 8 mil hole in, ream hole.
Yeah.
And we'll test fit it before we take it off the rig, as it were.
8 mil reamed hole, and then we'll test fit it.
Yeah. If it's too small, we'll go 8.1.
Yeah.
Or whatever's required. So I've pulled my vise off the table, and it's been on there a while, so there's swap underneath. So we're just going to give the table a good clean first. And I think a little bit of Scotch-Brite over the top of that. Just to give us a flat surface to clamp to. So, yes, we've got all these independent fins from the rudders, and we need 2 holes in them. A 50-odd mil hole, well, 51 mil hole this end, and a nominal 8 mil the other end, and we have got positions for them.
You see,
So
my
let's get
job
some
is
sets
I'm
of power.
supervisor. I'm telling Aid what to do, and he's following instructions really well.
Carbide centre.
That's cool.
So it's the principle of moments applies when clamping. Obviously the heel is higher and the bolt is offset, so when you tighten the bolt, all the clamping force is down on here, not on the block. So that is now okay. Put some cross lines in that to pick up a centre point, put a centre dot on it, and we'll pick up on that, and that's where we'll drill.
Beautiful.
83.6, 41.5, 41.8. So I'm going to put a scribe line there. Let's have some black in there as well, shall we? So picking up off the circle that we drew off the template, we've got a couple of cross lines there. We've done it in 4 directions. So again, with a centre pop, that's the centre of our world.
So basically what we've been doing at the moment is just clamping the work into position, making sure everything is lined up, and then measuring and making sure that we drill the hole in the right place. A little bit of measuring precision, as you know. You have to measure twice and cut once. Usually we end up measuring once and cutting twice, but I've got Aid with me, and Aid's a bit of an expert. So, are you happy with what we've done, Aid?
Yeah, I think we got it all lined up nicely now. We've got our reference points for the 2 centres. What I'm going to do is digitally pick up on those 2 points, so that when we come to do all the internal fins, we get exactly the same dimensions, as it were.
Right, digitally. Right, we've got a digital boat. Blue Steel's digital.
See, I can see that deflecting that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I do is just come this way, touch. And that way's good. And I've now got a centre-in drill straight over the top of the centre pop, which we've aligned by eye to get our centre position. Locked my table completely locked and set my digital readout to 000, middle of the world. So, on my stepper motor. Okay. Sense checking this as I'm drilling the hole. And it certainly does look like it's in the middle of the scribed hole. So I think what we'll do is progressively larger and larger drills until we get to a point where the mill won't drive any larger drill, and then we'll go to the boring head. You know what, I wonder. I will have to. This is going to wobble all over the place now. Through. So we're going to make a racket, so mind your ears, everybody.
So what we've done, and I think that's the royal we, is we've just drilled holes through at the moment rather than boring. We've got to the maximum limit of this little mill. What size was that, Aid?
1 inch drill.
A 1 inch drill, for all those of you who are watching in black and white. 25.4 millimeters for those of you who are watching in colour. So now we're going to switch from the drill to the borer, and it's not boring.
Lock the quill this time.
Putting a bit of
So you hear it bunking and bumping, and that's as it passes between the individual plates.
Good. Like that breakthrough.
49.7 millimeters as it stands at the moment.
What do we want to be?
51.
51.
So what I'm going to do is take point 1, 2, 3, point 4, point 5. Let's take point 6. Okay, so last cut. We'll probably run this through on power going down and run it through on power coming back up again as well, because I know I'm about 0.05 undersize. And then we're aiming for a nominal 51 mil.
Right, so
that's the whole bored through 4 of the ribs. That's 2 from each side. That's the top rib and the bottom, because they're slightly different size, because they go on the outside, whereas the other ribs go on the inside. Now that we've bored out the main hole for the shaft, we're just going to drill a hole in the end for the support rod that goes in to help us assemble it.
So what's that then? Is that just kind of a centre?
So yeah, that's a precision ground centre, and it's a precision chuck. So it runs sort of true. It doesn't, throw about.
6mm drill, and then we're going to follow up with an 8.1. Got a little bit of roll call on there. Metal working fluid. Not strictly necessary with mild steel. Compulsory with stainless steel. So that's that. And then we're just going to chase that up straight in with an 8.1 drill. And that is it. Nobody wants to cut themselves. We'll do that on both sides of all the plates when we split them. And on the same note, we'll deburr those.
So that's the first lot. Look at those. Oh, with your names on and everything. So, nice hole through there. That's for that 50mm shaft. And then another hole there. Whose name's that I've covered up? Ever so sorry. Right, good job there, Aid. I did a good job there, didn't I?
Centre of the world. What's that camera?
Oh, camera abuse.
The camera abuse, yeah.
Poetry in motion.
Right, so that's the second hole bored out. The last job to do then is just drill that small 8mm hole for that support rod that we've got towards the tips of the ribs.
Excellent. So, second batch, the big hole's done, 51.05, and we're just going to put the 8mm hole in this end. So I've picked it up with a centre drill, using one of the batch of the other batch on top as a guide, so I've got my hole centres ideal. Picked up on the hole on the original one from the other batch, spotted through with a centre drill, and now I'm just going to go right down through the lot. So it's quite a deep hole this. What have we got? 8 4mm plates. 32mm deep. That's it, job done.
Job's a good one.
Well, job's not done till we remove the burrs. Deburr these. I say swapping tools all the time. I'm going to do the small holes more of them first. Get those It's always going to be tougher because it's at the bottom. It's a war wound. Battle scar.
So that's it, all machined up. Thank you, Aid. Last part of the job, just for now, is kind of the little assembly here. Let's just have a look. Got some names on there. 2 top ones. Right, there she is then. So we've just put these pieces, lined them up, got a little bit of 8mm steel in there just to peg it all together. That's it on the shaft. Of course, there's 2 rudders worth of ribs here. We'll be spacing these apart and welding them to make the frame, and then we'll be skinning them over the top. So we'll stop there because that's enough for now. I wanted to say a big thank you to Aid from Aid's Workshop. Thank you very much, Aid.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. Absolutely no problem at all. I've enjoyed doing it. Nice little job on the mill.
Fantastic. So I've had an expert here sorting out all the milling and bits and pieces. Right, don't forget, thank you very much. Thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hype button, leave us a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Whenever I'm with you, I am alright. There's something about the way you make me feel inside. I'm counting down the days till we fly away.